everyone, welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to a new episode of Round the Corner. Chelsea host Newcastle at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. It's a chance to get a win once again in the league after drawing to Forest before the international break, then losing marginally to Liverpool at Anfield. It's time to get back into winning ways, and when we look at the table, we are currently 2 places above Newcastle, 2 points above Newcastle, so it means we really do need a result against them. I'm recording this before any of the Premier League fixtures have begun this weekend, so right now how things are looking: Newcastle are 9th, we're 7th, and hopefully if we can win we can get closer to those top 4 spots, because that's really where we are aiming for this season. But so far Newcastle have not been involved in many high scoring games. They've marginally won some of their games, and when we look at their goals scored versus goals conceded, they currently are sort of going like we were last season. Goal difference of 0, -1, 1, 0. And we, however, have taken pride in scoring more goals. We know defensively we can still be exposed in many areas, and that's something we need to improve. But if we're looking purely from a goal scoring perspective, if we can outscore Newcastle and not give away silly chances to concede, then we should be okay. But by no means is this an easy game. Now, my logic here with this one is that Newcastle lost to Brighton. We beat Brighton. So does that mean we can beat Newcastle? Last season, we were involved in some pretty high scoring games with them. Obviously beat them 3-2, which was a great win for us at Stamford Bridge. Also beat them just by a penalty shootout to proceed into the next round of the Carabao Cup. However, that 4-1 loss at St James's Park still stings a little bit, and it's going to be a trip we'll make right after this one. So hosting them on Sunday, and we are visiting them on Wednesday in the Cup. So it'll be a truly interesting little dynamic between these two teams as the week goes on. So hopefully Chelsea come out on top. But before we get into the video and we talk about the game and who we might expect to start, I'm going to tell you guys about our channel sponsors, Omely. So if you haven't heard already, they are our new partners, and they're basically an app and a space where you can connect with fans from all over the world. You can get involved in spaces talking about your club, you can talk about your favourite players, you can agree or disagree with different creators on the space. Chelsea Fan TV is also on there, so you can get involved with our things. But yeah, you can get involved and have a voice, and instead of just commenting on things, you can really truly speak your mind, and it's just a great way to meet other fans that are like-minded or have different opinions. And yeah, it's really interesting. So get on there, guys. The description is, I always say this, the link is in the description down below. It will also be on a QR code if you want to scan that to make it easier. But guys, yeah, check out Omely. It's a really great space. But let's get straight into the game and what we can expect. So following obviously a win away in the Conference League to Panathinaikos, which proved to be quite comfortable, convincing. We saw our B team, which was pretty confident in getting our result. We've rested our players that the majority of did face Liverpool, so that means they should be reset. They should have enough energy, enough quality for this game. Again, another difficult one. Newcastle are by no means an easy opponent, and they have not really conceded that many goals either. So in that regard, I think we need to really be on top of our game with finishing, and like I said earlier, not give away silly moments where they can capitalize on scoring. Now, in terms of how we set up, I don't think it'll be any different, except maybe Cucurella comes in, who obviously was unavailable against Liverpool, and I think he occupies the left back. Reece James obviously will start as a right back. We saw him return. We were more than happy to see him return. And I think in terms of paired alongside each other, we probably see Wesley Fofana and Levi Colwill. Robert Sanchez obviously in goal. He did have a few hold your breath moments against Liverpool where he just did make mistakes. Sanchez, please be on top of your game for this one. Shot stopping has been good. Yeah, like majority of it has been good, but the fact that, you know, he still has a very questionable distribution at times and invites pressure is not a welcome quality to have. So hopefully none of that. But in terms of midfield, that's another interesting one, and perhaps one that will spark a lot of conversation and discussion across the fan base, because You know, Enzo Fernandez is someone that has received quite a bit of criticism. He obviously, I think, had a brilliant game for us last time out and is someone that is definitely building his confidence still. He reps the captain armband. That's also another kind of level of responsibility he has there at a young age. But for me, I don't think it's necessarily fair that we bench him, and he is a player that I think Enzo Maresca really wants to unleash the best from, and I don't think he'll bench him. Having said that though, Romeo Lavia is someone who has played against the top teams that we faced, coincidentally lost to obviously Man City and Liverpool, but in terms of his overall ability, I think Lavia has shown that he is able to compete with the team's best midfields. He is able to come head to head with those duels, and he's a very good ball carrier, very physical, and I think that's a strong presence in midfield we need against a team like Newcastle, who not only have a lot of physicality in their team, a lot of height too, and I think Lavia offers that quality where perhaps sometimes it's a case where Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo needs to be a bit stronger on their feet. So in terms of physicality, I'd say he is definitely better in that regard, but also Caicedo and Enzo bring something different. In the presser, we saw that Soraya, shout out to Soraya, by the way, an amazing journalist. I'm sure you guys have seen her things. She was asking Enzo Maresca about the idea of playing and seeing a midfield three of Caicedo, Enzo and Lavia, and Maresca is open to that. So it'll be interesting to see if further down the line that happens. But for now, I do think that he's still going to continue experimenting with Enzo and Caicedo, and also Lavia and Caicedo, as we did see, which on the most part worked pretty well, because Caicedo again had a good game against Liverpool with Lavia, of course. So that's a really interesting dynamic there, guys. So let me know what you think we might see. It could potentially be Caicedo and Lavia just to push that a little bit further, see what he can unlock. But then again, Enzo had a really good game and I don't think he should be benched. Let me know, guys. I'll leave that door open there for you to contribute in the comments down below who you think should be our starting midfield against Newcastle. But moving up and further down the pitch, Cole Palmer. Course, who else? Cole Palmer. Some say he had a very quiet game. I agree, he wasn't the kind of the known presence we know Cole Palmer to be on the pitch, that dangerous output, but I believe that he was really well marked more than anything. He had some opportunities, he second guessed himself a little bit, but he, out of anyone, is allowed to have an off day. But I think he'll be back to his full potential against Newcastle, and it'll be really welcome. Like I said, they've got a lot of height and we're going to need a lot of creativity, good crosses that are well pinpointed in order for them to get there, and perhaps kind of crossing aerially isn't probably going to be the smartest thing to do against Newcastle in their box, but we shall see. And then it will be interesting to see who occupies the flanks, and I think it will be, of course, Noni Madueke, someone who's quite direct, has proven that he is slowly improving both his taking on his man and beating his man, and also finishing. So the end product has really come along nicely this season, and there is definitely a player there that can still show us so much more. Now, the left is really interesting to me because Jadon Sancho, since arriving, has had, I think, 3 assists now, and he's looked pretty solid on the most part, but he's not necessarily a player that is explosive on the flanks by any means. I think he's quite kind of stop-start with the dribbling at times, which means that, you know, he kind of has to pass it back or can't really pick his pass in time. But I would like to see a little bit more directness from Sancho if he is to start, like taking it upon himself to have a shot at times rather than constantly looking to lay it off to a player, cross it to a player. And I just want to see him taking a shot, having a go, because you never really know. And, you know, Neto, who obviously started in the Conference League, got an assist himself, is someone that I think, in terms of pace and crossing, is probably one of the best, top 3 in our team. I said behind Cole Palmer, I think Neto is one of our best crossers, aerially especially. And again, if we had a little bit more height up front and those crosses could be constantly met by someone like a Jackson with headers, then that could be a really crucial quality, like, weapon up front to have. But I don't think Neto starts in this game, so it will be Sancho out on the left, and of course Nico Jackson leading the front line. Nicholas Jackson, it goes without saying, he is so so good at showing us signs of improvement and showing us why we should have faith and why we didn't really go in for a striker. I said that we probably will need one somewhere down the line. For now, Nico's pulling out the numbers. You know, he's doing so well. He pulled one back for us against Liverpool. He is competing very well. He's doing very well for himself. Hopefully that continues. But Enzo's happy. Chelsea fans are happy with him. So no questions asked there, guys. But let me know what you think about that lineup. Newcastle are kind of injury hit at the moment. And in terms of our availability and fitness, we've pretty much got everyone available, which is unheard of. And what a welcome what a welcome piece of news to have ahead of the game. Newcastle though, yeah, there are definitely areas across the pitch where they'll be missing some key players, and I think though if we can be better defensively, that will be probably where the match could be won. I don't think this will be a high scoring game. I see it being a marginal win, and I think it hopefully will be for Chelsea because we really need this win now, guys. But guys, subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV if you haven't done so already. Check out my personal channel, Nina's Chelsea Corner, as well, which will be linked in the title. Make sure you smash the likes on the video, let us know your thoughts, and of course check out Amelie, which will be linked in the description down below. Have a lovely weekend, guys, and as always, up the Chels.